After a powerful start to the season, the Chicago Bulls are struggling. On Friday, they suffered their worst loss of the season, a 36-point trouncing at the hands of the Miami Heat, 143-107. In the process, the Bulls now have an 8-7 record and have lost 3 of their last 5 games. Furthermore, they are virtually eliminated from advancing in the NBA Cup tournament. Afterward, Donovan was blunt as can be when assessing his team's performance. Essentially, they didn't come out ready to play. It was a game where in every facet we didn't know what we were walking into, Donovan said. The game stood out for 2 notable moments. First, their second-year guard, Matas Buzelis, sustained a brief injury scare when he appeared to injure his ankle and had to be carried off the floor. However, Buzelis came back onto the floor and finished with 6 points and 5 rebounds. Also, Kevin Herro was ejected in the third quarter on a controversial call. After the whistle blew, Herro slapped the ball toward the referee, and it hit him in the back. Altogether, Herro finished the game with 3 points and 2 rebounds. Plus, the Bulls were without Kobe White, who is still battling back from his recent calf injury. What were the factors that led to the Bulls losing so badly? At the outset, the Heat set the pace. In the first half, they combined for a 53-21 run. From there, the Bulls could only cut the lead down by no less than 14 points. Even though they are on the same path in scoring, Heat, 47%, versus Bulls, 41.7%, Chicago came up short in a few critical areas. They shot just 27.9% from the three-point line, were out-rebounded 53-39, and sent the Heat to the free throw line 44 times. The latter of which diminished Chicago's ability to excel in transition. Also, the Bulls turned the ball over 18 times, and the Heat scored 24 points off turnovers, whereas Chicago scored only 6. On a positive note, Ayo Dosunmu scored 23 points and grabbed 4 rebounds. Also, Josh Giddey finished with a double-double with 19 points and 11 rebounds. Jalen Smith came off the bench to score 14 points, and Jevon Carter scored 10 points. The Chicago Bulls will take on the Washington Wizards at home on Saturday. Tyler Herro is set to return to the Miami Heat's lineup Monday night against the Dallas Mavericks, and when he does, there's some huge concerns that he'll have to calm for fans. Most of them revolve around whether he'll be able to fit in the Heat's new and improved offensive philosophy. With how the Heat have played through the first month of the season, it's a fair and understandable question. Even though Herro is coming off an all-star level season, you can't help but wonder how he's going to be acclimated back into a Heat offense that seems to be clicking almost perfectly. The good news is that there should be some clarity on all those concerns soon. Heading into Herro's season debut, let's explore a few of the big questions that all Heat fans will be seeking answers to. Will Tyler Herro fit alongside Norman Powell? Through the first month of the season, Norman Powell has been the team's best defensive player. He's been the straw that stirs the Heat's offense and has thrived in SBO's new offense. But how much will that change when Herro returns? It's an honest question considering they're expected to share the backcourt responsibilities. If there is any difficulty in Herro and Powell meshing together as a duo, it will naturally raise some big questions about this team's future, one that needs to be decided sooner rather than later. Will Tyler Herro fit in SBO's new offense? More specifically, there are not just questions about how the dynamic between Herro and Powell will be, but there are also concerns about Herro's fit, individually, in this Heat offense. This new offense that the Heat is running has cut the majority of pick-and-rolls and screen actions out of the scheme. This is an offense that is predicated on pace, cutting, and drive and kicks. While Herro is a proven offensive force, most of his damage, in a Heat uniform, has revolved around getting opportunities in the pick-and-roll or by using screens. With that no longer a big part of the offense, how will that affect his game? How will Herro be able to thrive in the Heat's new offense? Can he add value for an offense that's already clicking? One of the final big questions that Heat fans want to know the answer to is, how will Herro add value to an offense that is already thriving? Miami is just 13th in offensive rating, but because they're the #1 ranked team in the league in pace, that hasn't mattered much. The Heat are still the highest scoring team in the league, averaging 124.9 points per game. The question is, how much of a difference will Herro make? It's hard to imagine that the Heat is going to average more points per game than they already are. Maybe their offense gets a little more efficient. Maybe they create more assist opportunities. Then again, the Heat also leads the league in assists. It will be interesting to watch all these storylines unfold. In theory, adding an all-star guard to the lineup would indicate a good thing. But many fans need to see the proof of that before they get overly excited with Herro's return. The Atlanta Hawks have a winning record without Trey Young this season. Young is currently recovering from a sprained MCL in his right knee and is set to be reevaluated at the end of the month. While Young hasn't requested a trade out of the Hawks, his name has been mentioned in trade rumors since last season. His failure to sign an extension in the offseason further intensified the possibility of Atlanta moving on from him. He could become an unrestricted free agent next summer if he opts out of his player option. Orazio Cacci of Basket News dropped 3 trade ideas involving Young. One of those suggestions was sending the 4-time All-Star to the Miami Heat. Trade proposal sends Young to Miami. According to Orazio Cacci, the Miami Heat are in dire need of a true point guard. Tyler Herro, who is currently recovering from off-season ankle surgery, is more of a scorer than a playmaker. Here is what a potential deal between the Heat and Hawks could look like. Hawks receive Andrew Wiggins, Simone Fontecchio, Nikola Jovic, Jamie Jaquez Jr., and 2 future first-round picks. Heat receive Trey Young and Vit Krejci. Young would give the Heat a point guard with enormous offensive potential, and the player himself could be persuaded to sign a long-term contract with a Florida franchise, which has historically been one of the most popular among players, Cacci wrote. Cacci also mentioned how the Hawks would benefit from developing Nikola Jovic and Jamie Jaquez Jr. However, the prized assets of the trade are the 2 future first-round picks that could help shape Atlanta's future. As for Wiggins and Fontecchio, they are both on expiring contracts and would free up cap space next summer. Despite being linked to several NBA stars over the years, the Heat have been strict about not overpaying for players. Young could be off-limits, especially if he doesn't want to sign an extension and would prefer to test the free agent market. While there are no clear reports about the Heat's trade targets before the deadline, they are actively looking for an answer regarding Terry Rozier's status. Rozier is currently away from the team after getting arrested last month due to his alleged links to the FBI's gambling inquiry into sports betting. Ira Winderman of the South Florida Sun-Sentinel reported that the NBA is staying mum about Rozier's status in terms of trades. Hawks playing well without Young. The Atlanta Hawks have a record of 8-4 since Trey Young went down with a knee injury, as per StatMuse. The Hawks are currently sitting 7th in the Eastern Conference standings with an overall record of 10-7. They are led by Jalen Johnson and Dyson Daniels, who are both having a really good start to the campaign. According to ESPN's Shams Charania and Om Youngmisuk, the Hawks are expected to reevaluate Young's knee at the end of November. He was initially given a 4-week recovery period, but the franchise could keep him out longer until he is fully recovered. Young was averaging 17.8 points, 2.0 rebounds, and 7.8 assists per game before going down with an injury. He was struggling at just 37.1% from the field and an abysmal 19.2% from beyond the arc.